It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Cause that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold said so.
And so, goodbye. Mwah. And good night. Bang! Settle!
Because I'm better than you, and you know it. Yes, sir.
Welcome to Off the Mats with Alex Lowe's and Josh Silverberg.
All right, everybody, you are listening and watching us on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Happy Saturday. Welcome to another edition of the only wrestling talk show here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Welcome to Off the Mat. I'm your host, Josh Silverberg. With me, of course, my tag team partner every Saturday down in sunny Florida, Mr. Alex Lowe's. What's happening, man?
Nothing much, Josh. It's been an absolutely amazing week for wrestling. We had the G1 Climax 30, and I cannot wait to get into the Tennille Dashwood interview. It's going to be pretty interesting because I was on the stream the Impact stream to watch it. So we're going to get into that later in the next half of the show.
Absolutely. We're going to have our PR person join us for that, Miss Jillian Cohen, who does a phenomenal job here at the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. She's going to be joining us in the second half. Of course, we're going to preview NXT TakeOver 31, which is tomorrow. We have our AEW NXT recap. But, of course, the shirts. I went with Mick Foley today, a little Cactus Jack, a little Do Love, and then I have my FTR shirt that has nothing to do with Mick Foley. So take this in, Alex, because in the next few weeks, I'm actually going to be moving to my new house with my wife. So it's going to be a whole new setup for me over where I'm moving. So this will be the last time you'll see probably shirts hanging up for the last few weeks, and you'll see a different setup where I'll be, so it'll be kind of cool and different. But before we get into our AEW NXT stuff, we have to do our full disclosure of the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. And, of course, if you have a smart speaker, please tell the smart speaker to play the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, and you can hear us there. Download our app. It is free. If you have an iPhone, go to the Apple Store. If you have an Android, Go to Google. Go to the Google Play Store. All you have to do is just type in Worldwide Sports. You download it. It is free, no charge. You can see our show schedule, our topics that we talk about. If you missed the show, you can always rewind it and catch it later on. You can check out all the different shows that are on there, from the Ryan Hickey Show to the Wise Guys to the Sports Hit List to Below the Mic, to Down to the Wire, the BS Sports Show, the new Fantasy Sports Show that we have here. And, of course, I got to tell you, I had the honor and privilege of working with CJ and Kevin last week on the New York Jets show, Weapons Hot. And it was so awesome being with those guys. So if you're a New York Jets fan, check that out. So it's also not just wrestling on here. We have different shows that you could check out, so it gives you our show schedule as well. So download that app. Go to worldwidesports.com. Go to worldwidesportsradio.com as well. You can check out everything there. Check out articles that we post, different things like that. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope. We are on all different platforms all the time. So if you miss a show, no sweat. You could get us, and you could locate us easy by just downloading our app, going to our website, or checking us out on different platforms. Alex, what's the Twitter, Facebook, and the phone number for the fans to reach us at?
To reach us, you can follow us on Twitter at OffTheMat, WWSRN. Same for Facebook, and our cell phone line is 727-888-4295. That is 727-888-4295. Feel free to call us anytime during the show. Give your thoughts and opinions on different topics and what you hear throughout the show.
Absolutely, and the cool thing is too is not only was it on Weapons Hot, I got to talk to some guys but I got to meet Kevin as well, who does the podcast, Ain't Easy Being Green, and he is a ginormous, humongous wrestling fan, Alex. So I told him, hopefully, maybe at some point later down the road, if he would love to join us for our show and come on with us and talk with us, because he watches New Japan, Ring of Honor. He goes to all the indie shows in New York.
Wow.
To everything.
Wow.
So I told him, and I said to him, listen, I think Alex would love it if you came on our show one time with us. You know what I mean? Talk to us about that. So definitely down the road, we're going to set that up, Alex, and what we would love to have him on. I'm sure I don't want to speak on your behalf, but I'm sure you would love to have him come on and talk about his experience seeing all the different wrestling shows that he's been to and stuff like that. Before we get to our AEW NXT stuff as well, I have a little bit of breaking news. It's really not much breaking news, but in regards to WrestleMania 37. So right now the plan for WrestleMania 37 is to keep it in Los Angeles. That is the plan. The reports out there, though, are WWE has booked all the arenas, and they've booked Raymond James for WrestleMania 37 weekend for next year in case they have to cancel Los Angeles, which, by the way, my friends and I, our condo that we actually were going to rent out in LA, we actually had to cancel it last week because Airbnb was not complying with the different protocols and stuff that they were making us do. So we have decided to cancel it. Likely that means whether WrestleMania happens or not, Alex, my boys and I are likely not going to be going next year to LA. I don't think it's going to happen in LA next year anyway. I think I don't know where it's going to be. I have no idea. Even if it's in Tampa. And listen, I think the main event should easily be Roman Reigns versus The Rock. That's something we can
definitely hands down The Rock versus Roman Reigns, because they're both on the same bloodline. They know each other very well inside and out, and it would be a very, very iconic special matchup.
Absolutely, and that's the point. But even if that happens at Raymond James, you will not see me there. I will not be there. And look, we're not here to get political and stuff, but look, the president of the United States has gotten COVID-19. So look, if he can get it, anyone can get it. To it, man, and that's really what it is. You will not see me at those kind of events until there's a vaccine out. You will not see me there, Alex. I don't want to speak on your behalf either, but I'm sure you feel the same way. And that's going to be right in your backyard if WrestleMania happens in Tampa. And you said you still wouldn't go because you wouldn't really feel safe going to the event.
I would definitely not feel safe. If COVID's still going on by then, I would definitely not go.
So we'll see. Like I said, if the president of the United States can get it, nobody's immune to it. People have to realize that, and they have to learn from that. Wear your damn mask, okay? Stay 6 feet apart. Do the right thing. That's really what it comes to.
Stay safe. Stay healthy. Apply a lot of hand sanitizer. Keep your distance.
Wash your damn hands after you go to the bathroom, would you? God, whether COVID's a thing or not, wash your hands. Nobody wants to shake your hands after you go to the bathroom, okay? Come on. Let's get realistic here. All right, let's get into it, Alex. Let's do it, man. AEW NXT recap this week, and I got to tell you.
AEW was phenomenal. All the matches pretty much were stacked, and it blew me away. The first matchup I really enjoyed, Ricky Starks versus Darby Allin. And Darby came into that match looking for payback from All Out from what Brian Cage and Ricky Starks did to him. And he showed great intensity in that match. It was amazing to see the resilience from Darby in the match. And the thing that really caught me was the spear out of midair from Ricky Starks. I did not see that coming, and that really added some fire and feel to the matchup.
Ricky Starks for me is a guy that, look, Alex, I've told you this. I watched NWA Power, and Ricky Starks always stood out to me. He was a guy that when I looked at, I saw so much potential in him. He's young. He's charismatic. He's a guy that brings it in the ring every week. And he's shown it in AEW as to why they brought him in. But the underlying thing I liked was that they got Will Hobbs involved with Brian Cage. And that's two behemoths going at it against one another. And I love that. I think Will Hobbs is a guy that I think is going to be very special in AEW.
Oh, yeah, he definitely will be. Just because his size and strength alone and what he's capable of doing, he definitely is going to be a huge star in AEW.
Absolutely. I think he's going to stand out. I think he's a guy that's really going to show forth what he's become. I thought, like you said, Alex, I thought it was a very good show. I thought the Cody interview was excellent. I thought it really, that whole brawl was great.
Oh yeah, the locker room emptying to break up the brawl was awesome. We saw a small preview between Anna Jay and Brandy Rhodes as well.
Yeah,
and it was just all chaos. The whole locker room was trying to keep them apart, and it just kept unfolding on the outside floor. And then you saw everything was just exploding everywhere.
absolutely.
Crazy.
And I think when you see something like that, Alex, is it usually when brawls happen, you want to make it as perfect as you could possibly be. But the other thing too is you want to get as many people involved as possible.
Definitely,
we see it all the time.
Yeah, we do.
And when it comes to it, it really sets the tone for how I think the night's going to go. I like that it at first when Cody said he wasn't going to do the match, that he changed his mind. He is going to do the match and everything like that. I have no idea. I don't know who's calling me. Who calls on a landline anymore? But kids don't even know what a landline is. But what's interesting is when you see how that unfolded and how everything it sets the tone. Now, like I said to you last week, Alex, I'm not set in stone yet on Cody being the heel character just yet. I think eventually it's a slow build-up. I think when he turns on QT and turns on Dustin, he turns on Scorpio Sky and those guys and everything like that's when you'll see the heel turn. But right now, it's just him being kind of a goth character by himself, a lone wolf. Because you notice Arn wasn't with him either.
No.
So that's something you have to look at. It's just the little underlining things you see and you go to. The other thing that I keep putting my head around.
It's the small things that really grab the audience attention. Like, the one thing he said that really caught me was the reason people don't shake hands is because they need each other. And kind of saying that he's a lone wolf, he's on his own, he won't side of anybody. This he has to deal with this on his own and on his own terms. And he said he's ashamed that he lost the TNT title in 3 minutes. So I'm hoping the next match that Cody and Brody Lee have, it's going to be a war.
And the other underlining thing I have too is, and I wanted to get into it, was it's another slow build, and it's the Young Bucks and it's FTR and. I think what they're going to do, and I think this is the smart thing, and I think they should do, is I think the match is too good to not do in front of a full house. I think you have to do it in front of a jam-packed audience.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Whether that's, who knows, maybe at the show that I go to in Jersey, God willing, there's a vaccine at that point, and I could go. With the Blood and Guts show that I was originally supposed to go to, I still have tickets for that Blood and Guts show that didn't happen because of Corona. You're seeing the underlying factors of it, but then you saw Sean Spears say good luck to SCU. So clearly they're joining forces together. Hangman came out on the announce table. I thought that was him maybe going to join them, but again, I don't know anymore. You also have MJF and all those guys. They said they're going to join a faction. There's so much to dive into. But then they announced the tournament, Alex, and I believe the winner gets a shot at the AEW Heavyweight Championship, and Kenny Omega was announced, and Hangman was shocked. And I kind of see it as they're going to build that tournament to be the finals between Hangman and Kenny Omega. That's the match they're going to have, and I think that's when you're going to see Omega turn heel. 100% I see it. It's right there in my visual. That's what this whole thing is going to be set to be. You heard Kenny Omega's name in the tournament. So I think Hangman is then going to be the guy that's also in the tournament. Hangman and Kenny will face each other at maybe whether it's Full Gear or whatever.
And then you still have Eddie Kingston who was not submitted. He claims he's not submitted. So there's a possibility we'll see Eddie Kingston again in the title picture. I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
They missed the boat on that last week.
Yeah, they really need to get back on track with that very quickly.
What I'm saying is I think they really missed the boat on any opponent they could have picked to face Moxley. I thought it was going to be Pac coming back. They missed the boat. They really did. Putting Butcher in the match, I thought was just...
It wasn't the right call.
It was just as boring.
Yeah, it just wasn't. It didn't grab as much attention to me. The match was okay. How the match ended was okay, but I feel like there could have been a lot more. There could have been more to expect.
No, exactly. I think they picked the wrong guy to take. I thought it was going to be Pac coming back, and wound up just being Butcher, being the guy, and yada yada yada. And I thought that was so boring. I didn't like it, but it is what it is. I mean, whatever. But I thought the SCU FTR match was really good. The way FTR won was expected, with totally helping them. But Sean Spears also saying good luck to SCU was interesting because it looks like that group is slowly forming. So to me, I thought AEW was a very good show this week. I really enjoyed it.
I did too. I gave it a 10 out of 10. It was a perfect show. Yeah, it was on top for me.
I don't know if I give it a 10 out. I would say an 8 to 8.5. It takes a lot for me to give a perfect score. You have to be spot on with every segment and every match to get a 10 out of 10 for me. So I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think that's fair.
Yeah, that does seem reasonable.
Because I just think to get a 10 out of 10, you really got to be, every single match needs to up the ante to the next match, and then the next match, and then the interview segment needs to up the ante to that point, and then you know what I mean. So it's like, but then the Young Bucks also kicking off Tony Schiavone's head was also insane.
Yeah, that was unexpected to me. And then you saw FTR go, "What are you guys doing? We were just trying to have an interview, and you just super kicked our interview guy." I
know, and Matt completely like just brushed off FTR, and FTR was like, "We're right here," you know what I mean? But I like what they're doing with that. Slow build that. Wait for the crowd to come back for that match for sure. All right, Alex, let's get into NXT, man. Let's do it. And it was a build-up to NXT TakeOver 31, and of course, we have to start with a segment that really stood out to me was the Kyle O'Reilly
and Finn Balor segment with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, and I love that segment. But the other underlining thing too is when you look, Adam Cole had his match with Austin Theory, which was awesome. And Adam Cole kept saying that Kyle O'Reilly's going to be the guy. He's going to win. He's going to do this. He's going to be the man. And I said to you last week, I 100% see whether Kyle O'Reilly wins on tomorrow night or not. Adam Cole is the Triple H. Kyle O'Reilly is the Randy Orton. And I feel like Undisputed Era is going to turn on Kyle O'Reilly like Evolution did to Randy Orton. It's setting up the same way because remember, Triple H is in charge of NXT, so he knows how to do the storyline. He was in the storyline. What were your thoughts on NXT as a whole this week? Because I liked the show a lot. I did
too. NXT was phenomenal. All the matches were good, including some of the mid-card matches like Tony Nese versus Kushida, because we're seeing more aggression by Kushida every week. Every week he's getting more dangerous. Every week he's getting more physical. And Kushida is one of those guys that's really good at picking a target and going to work on it. And like Tony Nese had no chance to come back in that matchup at all.
The only problem with me, and I posted this on Twitter, Alex, I don't know if you saw this, but it was in regards to Kushida. I can't believe that this is his first TakeOver match. I believe he's been with NXT for about 2.5 years now, I want to say. And, when he was in New Japan, he was one of the best juniors in the world. And I think NXT has completely dropped the ball with him. I don't think they understand how great of a talent they have in him.
No.
Now, having him Velveteen Dream, I mean, look, no. Velveteen Dream, listen, say what you want. If you put the blinders on, considering what he's done, he's top, you could say top 20 talent, top 25 in talent in this world.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, with the thing that happened with him, that takes the whole thing away. At the same time, the match is gonna, I think, be a very good match.
It definitely will be.
I mean, but I think NXT has completely dropped the ball on him. I mean, Kushida had great matches with Kenny Omega and all these guys in New Japan at the time, and it's really unfortunate that NXT hasn't really developed him the way Shinsuke Nakamura came to NXT and the way AJ Styles came to WWE. You know, certain characters have really developed well from the New Japan setting to the WWE, and I think Kushida is one of those few that hasn't really gotten.
No, he really hasn't got the proper build up. He really
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all. He has not. And I just can't believe this is his first takeover match. I'm stunned. I mean, he's been here for so long now. You're telling me you couldn't find a takeover match to put him in? I mean,
yeah, it makes no sense. It's kind of like what they did to Kenta when he was in NXT. It's kind of like the same thing.
Well, I believe you saw what I posted, right?
Oh no, I didn't see it yet.
Kenta and Juice Robinson, how I brought it up last week.
Oh yeah, you did. You said that
said something about NXT and Kenta wasn't able to be what he wanted to be.
No. And
that's
then
another, he was from New Japan, came over to NXT and
came right over, and they did the same thing to him, and they did the same thing to Juice as well.
But I mean, I thought the way the match, you know, the way NXT has been was good. Alex, what were your thoughts on how NXT was?
I thought the way NXT was this week was great. The main event match was amazing. I loved how Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae were continuing to team up against, go up against Io Shirai and Damian Priest. They were just using all their tag team work and tactics to really get the pinfall on Damian Priest and Io Shirai, and they were using the Johnny Gargano way, as they so call it. And it was a good matchup. The finish was great, and we're going to see Damian Priest and Johnny Gargano in a match for the North American title at TakeOver 31 on Sunday. So that'll be an interesting matchup, and I cannot wait to see how that all unfolds. But we also got to give credit to Candice LeRae, and hopefully she'll be able to capture her next NXT Women's title. Oh, she's not in a match?
No, she is. No. I don't want her to win.
Oh, you don't want her to win?
No. Big time, no. I do not want her to win. No,
I could see why from what you said last week, but I think it's going to be a really good matchup between the two.
I mean, I think so, too. I mean, you hope so. I mean, this is Candice's time to really shine here. But I think somebody that nobody is talking about enough that I think we need to discuss, and I'm a big fan of him, and I think he's going to really settle in nicely in NXT, Ridge Holland.
Oh, yeah. Ridge Holland is great.
His promos are good, but he's an old-fashioned, bare-knuckle fighter that will go, being from West Yorkshire. Being from West Yorkshire, he's somebody that when you look at him and you look at the size of him, the strength of him, the ability that he has, but the promo work that he could do, I think is something you look at. Like I said, very old-fashioned, can go. It's kind of like when you think about it. I mean, I look back and I go back to like the Vaudevillains. You remember Aiden English and Simon Gotch, way back, a couple of years ago when the Vaudevillains were very over. And, I like the character of it. I thought the character was phenomenal because I think old-fashioned guys, I mean, think about this. It was supposed to be, kind of those characters that were way back in like the 50s and the 40s and, and everything like that. And, I like it. I don't mind it. I thought it was very good. As going back to what you said about Damian Priest and Johnny Gargano, look, we'll see. They're very different styles, Gargano and Priest.
Yeah, they definitely different ways that they have very unique styles, and it's going to be interesting to see how Damian Priest and Johnny Gargano go all out in this matchup. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Johnny Gargano can keep up with Damian Priest. And we got a little preview of that on Wednesday. So
absolutely, we did. Like I said, and this is no disrespect to Candice LeRae. I'm just not a fan. By the way, sending out well wishes to Tegan Knox. By the way, the fact that she's torn her ACL again. I mean, I mean, my goodness. I mean, she just came back from it, and now she had it happen again. So you hope for the best with her. It's so unfortunate because I'm really a big fan of hers, and But look, we're gonna preview Takeover 31 later, and there's so much to get to. There's so much to talk about with that. The thing again, and I'm gonna say it bothers me, Alex. This is the third straight Takeover where the tag team championships are not defended at the show. This is the third one.
It's insane. It's just unreal.
They haven't been defended at a Takeover since Takeover Portland, I believe, back in February. That's the last time they were defended at a Takeover. So I don't understand what is happening, what's going on there with that. It bothers me because, one Takeover, fine. 2 Takeovers, you're like, okay, but 3 in a row to not have the belts be defended at a Takeover, to me, that's just a little wonky. And I mean, look, like I've been saying, the tag team division is very weak right now in NXT. I like Breezango. I do. I like Imperium. The problem with Imperium is with Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel, they're not the same without Walter.
No.
It's not the same without them. Undisputed Era has held the belts for so many times, but now look, one half of them is in the main event championship match against Finn Balor. So that's something they got to build on. So we'll see. We'll get there for that and take it from that. All right, Alex, like I said, we're going to take a little bit of an early break today because we have so much to get to the second half. We're going to get Jillian Cohen on the line. She's our PR person here at the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. She did the interview with Tennille Dashwood, so we're going to get her on, get her up and running. Also, we're going to recap the G1 climax so far and how amazing it's been, and we'll give you an update on the standings. And we still have the preview, Alex, NXT TakeOver 31. So we still have so much to get.
We have a lot to get into, a lot to cover, so little time to go through everything, and it's been a great show so far.
And we do, absolutely. So hang in there with us. We're going to be right back. This is Off the Mat on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Everybody's got a price.
Rest in peace.
Welcome back to Off the Mat with Alex Lowe's and Josh Silverberg.
All right, we have Jillian Cohen on our line, our PR person. How's it going, Jillian?
It's going great. How are you guys doing?
Good.
We're doing good. We're doing good, Jillian.
What has kept you motivated the most upon your return to Impact?
Well, quite honestly, it was getting frustrating sitting back and listening to people like Diona toot her own horn about how she's the best technical women's wrestler in the world, and it just got kind of old. So I thought it was time that I just came and took the spotlight back.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So can you tell us a little bit about that interview and your thoughts on how it went and what your thoughts were about Tennille Dashwood and what she said?
Yeah, of course. That interview, that was a very interesting interview. Now, the question I asked is, since her coming back to Impact on the 1st of September, I believe it was, how has she kind of come back and that stuff? So, I think she gave me a great answer. She's very, very, she's a very sassy person, but I think her personality is so great that I think, her just answering that question the way she did, it gave a lot of people a lot of insight into, how she's feeling about her comeback and what she's looking forward to and who she's looking forward to face as well.
When you see somebody like Tennille Dashwood and you see someone that has really struggled when she was Emma, when she first came to WWE and everything like that, how do you think her working with Ring of Honor and her role in Impact has really improved her dramatically, not just inside the ring, but outside the ring?
Hello?
So, like he's saying, how much has she improved? How much has Tennille Dashwood improved since coming over from WWE with the name Emma and really changing her character and turning everything around when joining Impact?
Yeah, I think she loves Impact. That's the place that she thinks is the best promotion that's going to give her the most creatively and probably the most where she can do what she wants, but she also has new people who she could also face, and she also can win different belts. So I think it's just a whole different aspect over on Impact, where you have different people. The style of Impact is a little different than your normal WWE, NXT, AEW. So I think and she really wants that belt that Deonna Purrazzo has right now. So I think she's coming for her.
Definitely, I'm really looking forward to seeing how Tennille Dashwood, how she continues to develop in TNA Impact, and hopefully she'll have a chance to confront Deonna Purrazzo for her Knockouts Women's Championship down the road.
Yeah, but first she has to get through
she needs to get
Grace
through Jordynne Grace, exactly.
Jordynne Grace. Yeah, at Victory Road tonight, actually. She actually looking at her Twitter right now. She just tweeted about an hour ago so Victory Road is tonight, and she said this is the last time tonight that she will face Jordynne Grace before Victory Roads, before she moves on to the Knockout Championships.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup. I cannot wait. And thank you for calling in, Julian. That interview was fantastic. You did a great job. Amazing job. And we'll hear from you soon. We'll hear from you again soon.
Before I go, that was a great interview. I had so much fun doing that. Let's keep doing that. Bring it on.
Definitely. Thank you for joining us, Julian. Take care.
Thank you too, guys. Have a good rest of your show.
Thank you, Jillian. I know she didn't hear me. Sorry about that. Jillian Cohen, ladies and gentlemen, who works for the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, was able to do that interview, get that question into Tennille Dashwood, who was really, like I said, and it sucks because I there was other things I wanted to ask Jillian, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get through.
All right, so now we have the NXT TakeOver 31 match card, correct?
Yes, I believe it is time to do a little bit of a preview on that. So let me pull it up here, Alex.
I actually have it in front of me, too.
All right, so we'll start. We got time here. Let's start with the Cruiserweight Championship. Santos Escobar versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. And Alex, I noticed that on your Instagram, you are all in on this match. You really want to see Isaiah win this match, I saw.
Definitely. Because he's come a long way, man. I remember seeing Isaiah Swerve Scott at a Tampa Bay Pro Wrestling show down here in Florida at the one of the fairgrounds, and he's such an incredible athlete. He can definitely move. He's one of those guys that really has a passion for this business and really loves to take his time and really make sure that all of his matches are good, and make sure that he's doing outstanding in his performances. So I definitely can see him taking it to a whole different level with Santos Escobar. As he said in the promo, he's going to prove to himself and prove to the world and to Santos Escobar that he can be the new Cruiserweight champion.
Absolutely. So for me, I'm going to go with I think Isaiah Swerve Scott's going to win this match. I think Swerve's the rivalry between these two have been going on for the past weeks. It's been about the last month or so. And I think Santos Escobar has done an amazing job as being the fill-in Cruiserweight champion with Jordan Devlin out. Forget not being able to travel, but of course the incidents that he's had out of the ring. And look, I think it's Swerve's time to take this rivalry. We've seen him have some moments on NXTs every Wednesday night. So I look at somebody like that and I say to myself, yeah, this is something that I could see them going in this direction, but I wouldn't be shocked if Santos Escobar retains the championship belt. All right, Alex, the matchup we were talking about earlier, Kushida versus Velveteen Dream, and this is going to be Kushida's first ever TakeOver match, which is completely disgusting.
Yeah, it's completely absurd that they haven't given him the proper build-up at all, and he's been there for 2 years.
So he's going up against Velveteen Dream. which I think is still going to be a very good match. The Fight Dream stuff out of the ring, we understand it's controversial. I get it. Look, the match is still going to be. You're going to have to put your blinders on.
Exactly. You're going to have to pay close attention to what's going on in this matchup for sure.
You're going to have to put your blinders on. What I mean is, like, with all the personal stuff with Dream outside the ring and everything like that, going to have to say, okay, let me give this match a shot. I think it is going to be an excellent match. I really do. I think Kushida is going to take it. That's my opinion.
I agree with you. Kushida is definitely one of those guys that is going to take this matchup. He's an incredible athlete. I think he's definitely going to try and go to work on Velveteen Dream and really try to wear down all of his muscles, different parts of the body that Kushida likes to go after and really try and put somebody out of the matchup early on.
I think it's time to give him a chance that if he does win this match, maybe let him have a little TNT championship opportunity against Damian Priest. I'm not saying win. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
you said TNT.
I mean TNT. Sorry, the North American Championship. Excuse me. I was close. No, I wasn't. But anyway, I meant the North American Championship. In the sense that I'm not saying for Kushida to win the match. Like I said, if you just give him a chance to fight for the belt. The North American Championship. If you give him a chance to fight for the belt, I'm all for it. So we'll see going forward with that. Then we got Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae for the NXT Women's Championship. Alex, I know you're glued to this match very much.
Very much so. I'm glued to this match because we saw the preview during the week on Wednesday, and we're gonna see Io Shirai. She's angry for what happened on Wednesday, and she's not happy with how Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano took the matchup from her and Damian Priest. So it's going to be a physical fight. It's going to be a match where Candice LeRae has to really stay on guard and pay attention to her opponent, because if she takes 1 second off, there could be a moment where Io Shirai could capitalize and win the match.
For me, I think it's going to be Io Shirai that wins this match. I think she's going to continue her reign as NXT Women's Champion. Like I said, no disrespect to Candice LeRae, but I just don't. Her personality to me just doesn't dwell. It just doesn't fit with what I'm looking for in a champion. And you know what? The same thing happened when Rhea was champion in AEW. Rhea's a very good wrestler, but the problem is her personality just doesn't fit with what the fans want. She doesn't, she doesn't have a personality. She doesn't have, as they call it in the wrestling business, charisma. Whereas like Hikaru Shida has and Thunder Rosa has. Same thing here. Io Shirai has charisma. Rhea Ripley has charisma. I just don't get that feeling when I see Candice LeRae, and that's just no disrespect to her. She's a very good wrestler in the ring. We know her about her famous match she had with Joey Ryan against, and I hate that name so much because of everything he's done. And outside the wrestling business, it's disgusting what he has done with all the lawsuits and everything.
Yeah,
against with them against the Young Bucks. And look, to me, like I said, I just don't think she's somebody I think is the personality to be the NXT Women's Champion. So I think Io Shirai takes it. All right, Alex, let's get to our next one. We got two more to go here for the NXT North American Championship, not the TNT Championship. Nope. As Juice Robinson likes to say, poopsie daisy. It's going to be Damian Priest versus Johnny Gargano. To me, this match is interesting because we were talking about it before the show, I believe, Alex, in the sense that it's just two drastic styles that are different.
Exactly. Two different guys coming from two different places. Damian Priest has an MMA background and some sort of kickboxing style. Johnny Gargano comes from another background where he grew up with wrestling. He trained for years and years, and he really built himself up and got himself to this point. And it's going to be a great matchup. I cannot wait to see how it turns out. But I say Damian Priest retains and wins over Johnny Gargano.
So do I. I agree with you, Alex. And look at it this way. Johnny Gargano, risk taker, high flyer, underratedly good technical wrestler, good mat wrestler. And that's something Damian Priest has to be aware of. You said it best about him. He's with MMA, kickboxing, this is what Damian Priest does. You see it, but he'll take some risk at times. Look, I think Gargano is somebody that I think he's done it all. He's won it all. This just not necessary to give him the belt. Again, leaving it on Damian Priest, somebody new, somebody fresh, is the way to go for your NXT. So I definitely think that's the route they're going to take it. And then to our main event, Alex, Kyle O'Reilly versus Finn Balor for the NXT World Heavyweight Championship. Who you got and why?
I got Finn Balor because Finn Balor, it's been a couple years, 2015, since he held the NXT Heavyweight Championship. So I feel like Finn Balor definitely is going to have a challenge ahead of him. Kyle O'Reilly, like he said, is no joke. Kyle O'Reilly is a physical human being. He's come a long way in his career. He's traveled all around the world. He's seen it all. He's been to different places. He's wrestled almost everybody you could name. And so Kyle O'Reilly is definitely going to bring the fight to Finn Balor, and Finn Balor is going to be ready. He's going to be focused, and it's going to be a neck-and-neck matchup.
For me, I'm going to go Finn Balor in this one. I think it's going to be very, very, very close. I really do. And like I said, I could see at the end of the show, Adam Cole and company turning on Kyle O'Reilly. You've seen the last few weeks, he's been helping guys out. He's kind of looking more like a face character than a heel Kyle O'Reilly. It's been interesting. But don't forget, go back to the Ring of Honor days where Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole had a huge rivalry for the Ring of Honor World Championship, and their matches were insane against one another. So to me, I think when you look at somebody like Kyle O'Reilly, I see a guy that I think could be a very good singles wrestler because he's done it before. And I would love to see that rivalry from when it was in Ring of Honor go back to NXT with Adam Cole and see how that one develops. So I'm going to go Finn Balor in this one. I'm curious who challenges Finn after this. Could be Tommaso Ciampa. I can 100% see. We'll see, because I don't think Killer Cross is going to be back yet, so that's where I'm going to go. Don't forget to check out NXT TakeOver 31 tomorrow night. I believe at 7 o'clock on the WWE Network. Definitely going to be a really good show. It's an interesting show. It's a lot of fresh faces that are going to be on this TakeOver, which is nice to see. It's not going to be the same. There'll be a couple of the same ones, but there's going to be some different new fresh faces. All right, Alex, we got a couple minutes before we get to our finisher. Let's update the G1 Climax standings, and I got them right here. It's really bundled up, man. It's really close.
Definitely. It's insane to see how close all these scores are.
It has. And in the A block, you got Jay White, Taichi, Will Ospreay, Minoru Suzuki, and Kota Ibushi all tied with 6 points. You got Kazuchika Okada right behind at 4 points. Jeff Cobb, Shingo Takagi, and Tomohiro Ishii each with 2 points. And Yujiro's at 0. Takahashi with no points. And then on B block, you got Tetsuya Naito, Toru Yano, Juice Robinson, all with 6 points. Kenta, Zack Sabre Jr., and Evil and Hiroshi Tanahashi getting back in the win columns at times each with 4 points. Yoshihashi and Sanada, and finally in the win column each with 2 points. So it's been a very, very good start to this G1 Climax. It's tight. We don't. I feel sorry for butchering the name. I meant to say Yujiro, not Yujihiro. I added the hero, but it's Yujiro. Shoot me! Wow, I messed up the name. Sorry. So far it's been very good. I think.
Oh yeah.
Excellent, Alex. What's your thoughts on it so far?
Some of the best matches I've seen so far have been Evil versus Zack Sabre Jr., Yoshihashi versus Sanada, Will Ospreay against Tomohiro Ishii, Naito versus Hiroki Goto, Will Ospreay versus Jay White, and then Shingo versus Ishii. So all these matches have just been picking up piece by piece. I love seeing the energy and outlook on the different opponents, and it's been a great G1 Climax 30 so far. And if I had to name from last year, if I had from last year's G1 compared to this year's G1, I would say this year's G1 is the best.
Last year's was phenomenal, though. I know I got to see how it plays out first. I got to see it finish, and then I can evaluate at that point. Because again, I know it's been very good so far, but you can't evaluate half a G1, in my opinion. Maybe you have it differently. That's okay. Compared to a whole one. To me, the interesting thing I took was when Kenta faced Evil, and when Kenta held up the too sweet with the fingers, Evil ignored him and went to Dick Togo, which was very interesting. I saw that as something I go, wait a minute. Is that how Evil's going to be, where he's not going to salute his brother in Bullet Club? So I found that to be fascinating. I mean, look, you're starting to see guys that were struggling early. Yujiro is – I don't know where he's going to get a win.
I don't know either. Yujiro really needs to pick it up in this tournament if he really wants to get some points on the board.
He's there pretty much to be the jobber. That's essentially what he's in that group for. He's there to be the jobber. That's why they had to fill it. They made him the jobber, unfortunately, for him. And look, it is what it is. At least he got to be in the tournament, which was nice, and that's cool. But he's just there to fill out the whole standings and everything like that. Nothing different. But it's been a very good tournament so far. I've enjoyed it. I mean, look, there's simple. I mean, look, you missed John Moxley and those guys in it, but
and then you don't have the junior heavyweights. So
well, that's the thing. They usually don't. I know that. So that's why I found when Will Ospreay was in it, it was interesting. Because, I mean, Will Ospreay was in it last year. But the thing was, you could clearly see Will Ospreay's in the heavyweight division now. He's not in the junior division anymore. He's graduated from it. You could see that because also, he's in the tournament now. And there's, like you said, Alex, there's no juniors in this tournament.
No.
Or he's officially, in my eyes, graduated to heavyweight status, which is something he has said the last year or so he's wanted to do for quite some time. He wanted to get to that heavyweight division, much to the way Kenny Omega kind of did it. When Kenny Omega was in the junior division in New Japan, and he graduated, went to the heavyweight division, and was very successful at it. So I think this is something you're going to see where guys are going to get better. And the junior heavyweight are fine. They have plenty in there. They have plenty of star power.
Oh, yeah. They have a lot of star power in there.
I think Will Ospreay being in the heavyweight division is the right call. I think it's in my eyes, in my opinion. I don't want to speak for you, Alex, but in my opinion, I think it's the best option.
It is the best option, and he's done an amazing job in the G1 so far. He's one of the guys in there that's been just picking up the pace with the most points and really trying to stay on top of this G1, and hopefully we'll see him towards the end of the G1 Climax.
For sure, absolutely. All right, Alex, it's already that time. Time flies, man, but we were able to do it. It's time for our finishing move. What you got today?
So my finishing move was I had my last ACW show ever. Unfortunately, things change, times change in the wrestling business. It happens all the time. People come and go, and it just wasn't my time to be there anymore. So I'm officially done with American Combat Wrestling. But I love how they've helped me in so many ways. They've really helped me see different parts of the business, and I've learned a lot from them. So it's been an amazing run with them.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sorry that happened. I did see that the other day, so I am sorry that did happen for you. But at the same time, like you said, you took a lot from the business. You took a lot from the industry. You made a lot of connections, and you can use those connections going forward, man. And but I listen, I'm not here to I've seen Alex do his interviews for ACW. I've seen Alex works. I'm going to say Alex works his ass off.
Yeah, I really do.
He does. Okay? I don't want anybody to say he does it. He does. He really does. He loves his business. All right? I've talked to his father, Charlie Slows, many times. And Charlie has said Alex has one lane, and that's the wrestling lane. And he loves this business. This is what Alex wants to do. And I can tell you I've seen so much improvement from him on the show. I've seen even more improvement from what he does his interviews on ACW. And Alex, I could say I'm very proud of you for where you've gotten so far, man. You really have come along.
Thank you. That really means a lot.
Be proud. You took all the stuff that they taught you, and I can tell you firsthand, man, you've shown it. The work is paying off, and it's only going to get bigger and brighter for you going forward. My finishing move for me is quite simple, and that's after watching Clash of Champions, man, I got to tell you, I loved the ladder match with Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, and Sami Zayn, and I loved the Jey Uso Roman Reigns match. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the match a lot. I love the storyline. I think it's
a great storyline, and it's only going to continue to get better from there.
Roman as a heel, this should have been done years ago.
Exactly.
He's a natural heel. This is perfect for him. I think it's awesome. I think he's done a great job. I think he really is somebody that's taken the bull by the horns here and just ran with it. They said, all right, here's the ball. Go take it. He took it and he ran it down the field for a touchdown. That's what he did as a heel. And the thing I love, too, is the difference with Paul Heyman's character. Paul Heyman was the complete spokesperson for Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman doesn't have to be that guy with Roman Reigns.
No.
He's just
there to guide him, basically.
There to guide him, and he's there to be the spokesperson when he has to. Like in the match, when he was calling him the tribal chief, when Roman didn't want to hear it from him, he wanted to hear it from Jey, but it was phenomenal storytelling. Roman and Paul Heyman combined. And Alex, remember, I told you when this happened. You remember when I told you this happened? I called you that night, and I said, Alex, we got to change the first segment. We have to change it. Roman Reigns is now here with Paul Heyman. And I said it was gold. That was the perfect duo. We asked for this forever, and we finally got it, and it's worked. And I can't wait for when the fans come back to see how they embrace it. I'm curious, so we'll see. That's going to do it for us today. Listen, before we go, so many different disclaimers we got to get to here. Again, please download our app. It is free. It is a free app. If you have an iPhone, go to the Apple Store. If you have an Android, go to the Google Play Store. All you have to do is just type in Worldwide Sports, okay? Type it in. You download it. You get our show schedule, our profiles, our stories that we write. I know Alex has a few. I have a few. If you missed our show, you can watch it. You can listen and watch it again. You can see clips from our show. You have the show schedule, like I said, of the Ryan Hickey Show, the Wise Guys, Below the Mic, Down to the Wire, Weapons Hot, a show for the New York Jets, the Sports Hit List, the BS Sports Show, the new fantasy show that just came, that just joined with us, Cage and MMA, and then, of course, us here at Off the Mat. So many different options you could check us out at. There's so much to check out. You could also type in worldwidesportsradio.com. Check us out there. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope. You could tell your smart speaker to play Worldwide Sports Radio Network. I looked over to make sure she didn't do it. And, your smart speakers will play it for you. It's that simple. So many different platforms. Alex, let the fans know, how can they get in touch with us on Facebook, Twitter, and on the phones?
So you can get in touch with us on Facebook at Off the Mat WWSRN. On Facebook, just search Off the Mat, and it'll immediately come up. And then for Twitter, our Twitter handle's the same for Facebook. And remember, the phone line is 727-888-4295. That's 727-888-4295. Feel free to give your thoughts, comments, opinions on today's show, and let us know how we did.
Listen, fans, we want to hear from you. If you have an email, if you have a message you want to send us, if you're too scared to call in and you want to just type in your question, please do so. We'll read it on the air, okay? It's that simple. So we want to hear from you. We want to hear from the fans, okay? Alex, my friend, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a great one. All to the fans out there, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please stay safe. Again, if the President of the United States can get COVID, you can too. Nobody's immune to it, all right? We don't dictate the virus dictates us at this moment. Wear your damn mask, stay 6 feet apart, watch out for big gatherings, and be safe out there. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. You're watching Off the Mat on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.